Creating qualified sales opportunities is super hard, even for teams that have big budgets and lots of training and expertise. It's especially difficult when you're in a hyper-saturated or very commoditized space like marketing services. My name's Chris. I'm the founder of Hyperscale Leads, and I'm going to walk you through the exact playbook that we use to generate 122 qualified leads for an Amazon marketing agency and TikTok marketing agency that we've worked with for a long time now. I'm going to show you everything from infrastructure that we use to the data enrichment strategies, the overall campaign design, some of the mechanics that we used, and we'll dig into some of the lists and targeting as well. So I hope you enjoy this, and let's get into it. So the client, again, operates in a super saturated space. They sell services to grow e-commerce brands on Amazon and TikTok. So there's a lot of noise in that space. Overall, we've generated 599 leads for them and counting. We've still are engaged with them, including 122 in a single 30-day period. So how do we do this? A lot of work, number one. A lot of complex technical integration and different elements of cold email, copywriting, marketing strategy, and data enrichment all combined to execute campaigns like this. So first step is to set up the right infrastructure. I see a lot of people make this mistake where they send emails from their primary domain. You don't want to be doing that. We set up a mix of Microsoft inboxes, Google inboxes, as well as some kind of below the radar SMTP custom server providers as well. It's important to get a mix because if your deliverability starts to take a hit, your performance is going to go down. We use AWS as well in our process, some Microsoft Azure, as well as a bunch of AI providers like OpenAI and Anthropic. That covers the tech setup. We put everything through very specific warm-up practice to make sure that those emails are getting delivered. We set up lookalike domains. I probably should have added that. Lookalike domains across a number of different registrars. So we're purchasing domains in different locations to make sure that we're distributed and safe from a deliverability perspective. Once we set up that infrastructure, we're going to warm up those emails for anywhere from 7 to 21 days, depending on the provider. And then they're eligible to enroll them into the campaign. So this step is super important. If your emails are not getting delivered, you're not getting results, you're not getting replies, and you're not getting meetings booked. Next up was the list. So this client told us, hey, look, our ICP, our ideal customer that pays us the most money, that we can retain the longest, that we can close the easiest, they are Shopify users. They're e-commerce stores that are highly ranked on Shopify. It means they have money. It means they're successful and just well designed for conversion optimization. So US-based companies must be using Shopify as their platform, and they just wanted to start at the top of the list in terms of revenue. So we were able to use a data provider called StoreLeads to filter down into this. We use a number of different data providers, anywhere from 8 to 15 different providers, depending on the use case, depending on the client, depending on their specific market and list that they need. We used StoreLeads to isolate a list of 50,000 e-commerce stores across various product categories. And then within that, because they're selling marketing services, we were targeting marketing, sales, growth, and C-level positions, including CEO, COO, CRO, and CMO, of course. In terms of the campaigns that we ran, we had two major successful buckets of campaigns. And so to simplify this, I broke it down into one category. So evergreen campaigns, this was basically a high volume approach using AI personalization, targeting a broad swath of these qualified e-commerce companies and the decision makers at those companies. And then we did a series of low volume, very targeted trade show campaigns on a case-by-case basis. So we were able to scrape the attendee lists from these trade shows, find the companies that were attending them, isolate the decision makers, and then roll through our process of finding emails, enriching the data, and enrolling them into campaigns. So this was a bucket of smaller campaigns, but the conversion rate was astronomically high. So let's get into it. First one is we're going to walk through this evergreen campaign. Overall, we got a pretty decent reply rate on this, 3.9%. Again, in a saturated market, saturated niche, that's not too bad. This is, of course, excluding out of office replies. And so that's an important thing, because if you're comparing providers or looking at different proposals from people, it's very important to ask them, okay, are these reply rates excluding out of office or including? Because if we didn't exclude it, our reply rates would be 20%, 25%, right? Which would be astronomically high. Typical cold email reply rate is about 1% or sub 1% if you're not optimized to do this kind of stuff. We had an incredibly high positive reply rate. So of the people that replied, almost a third of them responded back positively. And so let's walk through this. I'm actually going to show you the workspace that we used to create this campaign. So we'll walk through some of the elements of the list, how we think about, enrichment and our general process here. So I'll start here. Again, we isolated the top 50,000 Shopify stores using store leads as the list source. We scraped all the relevant decision makers across marketing, sales, growth, and C-level into a clay table, which is this right here, which I will show you momentarily. And you can see that right here. So we got first name, full name, title. We classified those job titles into different personas so that we could send appropriate messaging. We cleaned up the website to make sure that that's standardized. We found the email provider that these companies are using themselves, so that when we email them, we can use one of the email providers that directly matches theirs to optimize deliverability. And I'm just going to flip-flop back and forth between this doc and the clay table here. But so we performed what we call waterfall enrichment to find addressable, validated email addresses. Now, if you're subscribed to ZoomInfo, I feel sorry for you, but there's cheaper ways to get the data, and we have access to countless APIs and third-party tools where we can start to layer these on top of each other and find more addressable emails, more valid emails, and even on traditionally undeliverable emails where you're not actually able to verify those emails. We can. We have some internal technology that we put together that can do that. And so here we're running through this waterfall process where we look for emails. If we don't find it, then we move on. Here, we have our own internal email finding technology that we put together that runs on Amazon, and we've found all these emails here. So once we do that, we're going to scrape the LinkedIn profile of the company and their website content and understand what this company sells and to whom they sell. So remember, we're targeting e-commerce businesses. We want to know what kind of products they offer and who the target audience is for that. And I'll show you why that matters in creating a personalized message here in a second. First step is we want to make sure that the list is super clean. So we used AI to analyze whether the company is a good fit for the client's services. And in this case, it's whether or not they sell a physical product that could be sold on Amazon, right? Because not every e-commerce store, right? You can have digital products and digital services that are showing up in this list. And so we really wanted to add this extra layer of refinement and targeting to make sure that the people we're reaching out to are the right people, and they're the right people who are most well positioned to respond positively to the client's offer of their marketing services. So just a very clever use of AI that was not possible 6 to 12 months ago, but we're able to really narrow in on that ideal customer profile and make it so that everyone we're reaching out to is a pre-qualified good fit for the service. Next step is we used AI to infer the prospect's target audience. And so we'll just take a look at that. I'm going to skip ahead here. So this is, where we scrape the website for each company and figure out what they do. Here we analyzed, whether this company was good. So if we look at this bad fit, we can see, there's not a lot of information there, but here. So this company sells golf lessons in San Diego, right? not exactly something that you can sell on Amazon, right? And so we kicked out that company and marked it as a bad fit. So all this happens before we even send the campaigns, and it's a very important step in the process. And then here, and I'll just run a couple of these examples. We generate personalized snippets, understanding, okay, what it is that they sell, who their target audience is, right? So they sell natural coconut coolers. Great product, cool product. And they sell it to event organizers, outdoor recreation companies, and catering businesses, right? So these are all potential target audiences, and we can bring this up in the email, and we do. And that's really where AI can be used right now, is to personalize these types of emails and drive up that conversion rate. So inferred the target audience. We also used AI to generate personalized lines based on the prospect's LinkedIn profile, their job title, what their areas and responsibilities are. We used AI to generate personalized snippets based, again, on the exact products that they sell. Other examples would be of the company, right? So we can generate interesting personalizations to put into the emails, such as I'm interested by how Nutshell Coolers combines natural materials with supernatural performance for an eco-friendly cooler solution, right? Great personalized line. We put that in the front or at the end of every email for this campaign. And then we combined everything into, well, once we enrich all this data and filter it, generate all these personalizations, including tailored use cases, and I probably should have added that back in the document, but we can also train an AI model to ingest our client's product and service description, and then read the prospect's website and say, hey, look, here's 3 ways that you could use our product or our service, right? And so we use that very effectively here, saying, hey, we can showcase your eco-friendly coolers to attract eco-conscious buyers. We can demonstrate your cooler's superior insulation in real life scenarios. These are all marketing ideas or campaigns or specific use cases that our client can provide their service and generate results for this prospect. So once we generate all that data and all of those personalizations, we're going to combine that all into a very conversational cold email campaign. So when I say conversational, I mean short copy. I mean a strong focus on the prospect and not on us as the client in this case. We always include unique social proof points or unique selling propositions if there's case studies or transformations or validation that we've done this particular thing and generated this type of result for our client, kind of similar to this video. We're going to include that in the campaign as well. We're going to upload everything into SmartLead, which is our email sending tool of choice, and that allows us to combine with the infrastructure up here. That allows us to deliver these emails at scale. And so we sent tens of thousands of emails every month and generated, again, really substantial results from this. I think the client from this campaign, the client's getting anywhere from 35 to 50 leads per month. Some months are higher than that. But this is really a good bread and butter campaign that we can run at scale to their entire market and just feed their sales team with qualified meeting ready leads that are ready to have a sales conversation about the client's product or service. So that's the Evergreen campaign. And then I mentioned that we did some other kind of lower volume but laser targeted campaigns around trade shows. So we'll bucket all that into trade show campaigns together. The reply rate was a little bit higher on these because of the tactics that we use, and I'll walk through that here in a second. 41% positive reply rate. So almost half of the people that we emailed that replied back to us were interested in that reply. Incredible results, scalable results as well. So what I'm talking about when I say trade show campaign is we take different trade shows. This is just an example, but we were able to train an AI-powered agent to go scrape these websites and find the exhibitor lists and the attendee lists of these trade shows. Why that matters is because I'm sure that there's a list of 10 to 20 different trade shows that either your team is attending or you want to attend that contain your customers, right? And so for them, they were able to sidestep the expense and the time and the complexity of attending these trade shows to generate leads. They didn't have to spend time on the sales floor or the trade show floor talking to prospects. We were able to just get in front of all of these super qualified companies by scraping the attendee list and then doing a very similar enrichment path as the previous campaign. So we imported everything, filtered down, cleaned up the websites, cleaned up the company names, found their email addresses here, make sure they were addressable and valid. And then we scraped the websites, scraped their LinkedIn profiles, found out who their target audiences were, and then sent them super personalized messaging that makes it super clear, like, hey, look, we know who you are, what you do, what you sell, and to whom you sell it. We're a marketing agency. Here's some proof points about what we've done. We can help you. Like, let's get on a call, right? So it's overall, it was I would say, medium complexity campaign in terms of the volume of personalizations that we used and like the amount of AI and custom web scraping. I'd say it's medium. But the results, again, were incredible. So 5.6% reply rate, 41% positive reply rate. And the combination of these, high volume campaigns, bread and butter, evergreen, with these smaller volume, intent-based or trigger-based in some cases, trade show campaigns really contributed to this outstanding result, which is 122 qualified leads in 30 days, which was more than enough to keep their sales team busy. It helped them shift their salespeople's time away from manual prospecting and more towards what they should be getting paid to do, which is closing deals, moving deals through the pipeline, nurturing deals that might be closing in 3 to 6 months, and doing all the bottom of funnel needle moving sales activities that they should be doing, right? Instead of spending their time manually writing emails or finding data online, filling in, the CRM and uploading lists, right? So we were able to take care of that for all of them. So if you are a company that sells a B2B product or service and you're interested in having a team of expert data scrapers, cold email strategists, list builders, and campaign design or campaign architects run performance-based campaigns on your behalf so that you guys only get billed for meeting-ready leads that we throw over to you guys, let us know. We have a website. You can schedule a call there, or depending on where you're watching this, there might be a link to a calendar there. We would love to talk to you. Thanks for watching, and always let me know if you have any questions.